So the topic for today is session number 1 of unit green skills. Okay, actually this topic is based on the environment, how we should protect the environment and why we should protect the environment. All of these things are there in geography part of your social science subject, but still as part of your vocational skill they are giving you these subjects as additional subjects. So basically some points are there that we are going to discuss. Okay, so the topic natural environment and us. Leo Tolstoy is a very famous Russian writer. He is Leo Tolstoy. He once said that one of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and the nature shall not be broken. Okay, there is a link between we and the nature. Nature is providing us all the things, mostly free of cost, and we should protect the nature. So this is the link between we, the man, the human beings, and the nature. And if we will break this link, that nature will provide us everything and we will protect the nature, then we will remain happy. Otherwise it will result in disaster. Floods, cyclones are there, they are happening every time, but nature has always tried to protect us from these calamities like flood and cyclones. So if we will protect the nature, nature will protect us. So if you want to be happy, then we should not break the link between man and nature. There is one country as our neighbor, Bhutan. Bhutan has one index called Bhutan has one index, just for a minute. Bhutan has one index called happiness index. It actually checks if the people living in the country are happy or not. It is a unique concept in Bhutan only, because Bhutan cares for the nature. 70% of the land in Bhutan is covered with forest. Okay, there are greenery everywhere. They have not disturbed the natural balance. So they are happy because the link between the man and the nature is not broken in Bhutan. But here in India, we have broken this link. According to our forest policy, at least 1/3 of the land, means 33% of the land, should be forest. But we have cleared forest, we have done deforestation, and the forest is not available now. So we are going against our own forest policy. So we are here, we are living here till nature is supporting us. Once nature stops to help and support us, to provide us free things, we shall not remain, and all living being will become history. We will not be living here, we all will become dead, and all living beings will become history. Like dinosaurs became history, we human beings will also become history. So we should protect our environment. We should try to protect the environment. Otherwise, one time will come when we all will get destroyed. Okay. So the question comes, what makes our natural environment? What are the things which consist our natural environment? So everything that surrounds us, everything, the earth, the air, food chain, plant, animal, other humans, water, sky, all of these are part of our natural environment. So everything that is around us, everything that we see, these all are part of our natural environment because they have been provided by the nature. The earth, the air, food chains, plants, animals, human beings, water, everything is provided by the nature. That is why it is part of our natural environment. The natural environment has two subcategories. It is divided into two parts. One is the living environment, consisting of the living beings, those who are living, and the non-living environment, which consists of those things which are not living, we do not have life in them. The living environment consists of plants, animals, we human beings, and other living organisms, insects, parasites, those who are living, those who have life in them. We can also categorize natural environment in one more category, non-living environment. It consists of those natural things which are not living, which are non-living. For example, oil, rock, air, water, sun, they do not have life in them. They are non-living. Next, we can classify the resources in two parts, three parts actually. First of all, what are resources? Resources are free gift of nature, freely available to us. But resources are not totally free of cost. For example, water is a resource provided by the nature, free of cost, but we need to pump water from underground resources, then only we will be able to use it, and for that we have to spend some sort of money. That is why we can say that resources are not totally free gift of nature. We have to spend some amount of money to get them. So we can classify the resources into three categories. Resources, anything that satisfies our need is called resource. Anything that satisfies our need are called resource. Anything that satisfies our need is called resource. Anything that satisfies our need is called resource. Now we can classify the resources into three categories: natural resources, renewable or non-renewable resources, exhaustible or non-exhaustible resources. So we will see all of these three one by one. Natural resources. Resources, I just told you, it basically means a source of supply of something, means anything which provides a solution to our problem, which fulfills our necessity. It is a source of supply of something. Natural resources, we know very well that they are provided by the nature. They are the freely, naturally available supply to us. For example, land, air, water, sun. These are natural resources. These are available free of cost and they are provided by the nature. No human beings have created them. These are not man-made resources. These are natural resources. These are naturally available, provided by us to the nature, provided by the nature, and they are freely available. For example, land, air, water, sun. Water, forest, animals, rocks, sun, air, land, minerals, all of these are examples of natural resources. We humans have been using the natural resources for our survival and to live on the planet. We use sun, we use the air to breathe, we use rocks, there are minerals inside rocks, we use water, we use forest for timber, for other food supply. We depend on the natural resources for our survival. If the natural resources are not there, we will not be able to survive. we all will become dead. Natural resources are also dependent on one another. For example, we human beings are dependent on water. If the water supply in an area fades away, is not available, dries up, then we all have to move to another place because we all are dependent on one another. Rain depends on river. Rain depends on the flow of wind. In class 9 there is a chapter climate, if you remember. In that climate you will remember that the rain depends on wind. Whatever way is taken by the wind, the rain will go there. There is one question that why do we have rainfall after winter? So that reason is given, that it depends upon the wind. Okay, so natural resources are dependent on one another. If one will exhaust, other will automatically exhaust. If animals living in an area will get killed, the plants will also stop to increase because we have deleted one part of the natural resources. We can also classify the resources into two parts based on their renewability. If they are renewable, they are called renewable resource, and if they are not renewable, they are called non-renewable resources. So we can classify them based on their exhaustibility, based on their renewability. These are called renewable resource. The natural resources that can be produced within a few years or decades are called natural renewable resources. For example, wood. We cut trees and then we again plant them. So they will take 10 to 15 to 20 years to again grow up, and they will be able to provide us wood. So wood is a natural resource that can be produced within a few years or within some decade. Means we can get them again. Once exhausted, we can create them again. We can get them again. That is why they are renewable. They are renewed by the nature. They are continuously renewed by the nature. For example, solar energy, continuously powered by the nature, sun, and it is renewable. It is not going to exhaust. Water is a renewable resource. The water supply that we get from rivers, rivers are recharged yearly by the rainfall or the glaciers. So these rivers get water from glacier. Glaciers are created because of the snowfall in Himalayas. So these are renewable resources. They get renewed every year. Timber or wood from trees. We cut trees, get timber, and then we again plant trees. Biomass. All of these are renewable resources. Once used, they can be regenerated after some year. Some of the renewable resources are sometimes also called infinite resources because they will not exhaust however amount we use. For example, solar energy is infinite resource, infinitely provided by the sun. Water cannot be taken as infinite resource because it can dry up, it can become ice, then it will not be available for us to use. Timber is also not infinite resource because if we cut all the trees, then it will create problem for us. We will not be able to find trees after 50 or 60 years, then only we will get it. Some resources are called non-renewable resources. The natural resources that cannot be reproduced at the similar rate to the rate of their consumption. The rate at which they are consumed, they are not produced at that rate. For example, the rate of consumption of petrol is very high. We are constantly using petroleum resources. So once they are exhausted, they need lakhs of years to again be created. So that will create problem for us. So natural resources that cannot be reproduced at the similar rate, at the rate of their consumption, are called non-renewable resources. They are also reproduced, they are also renewed, but their renewability rate is very slow. They need 10,000 years to get created. So we cannot wait for 10,000 years. Petroleum takes millions of years to form. Coal takes millions of years to form. Natural oil and gas also. Earth minerals are non-renewable. Once used, we will not be able to get them again. Metal ores, nuclear power that we get from thorium. Okay, so that is non-renewable. That will get exhausted. So natural resources that cannot be reproduced at the rate similar to the rate of their consumption are called non-renewable resources. Next we have exhaustible or non-exhaustible resources. Non-exhaustible resources are those resources which are infinitely available, and if you will constantly use them, then also they will be available. Infinitely available natural resources that the living being of earth can never consume to finish them are known as non-exhaustible resources or inexhaustible resources. Example, solar energy. Whatever pace you are consuming solar energy, it is not going to exhaust. Wind energy, it is not going to exhaust. Tidal energy, it is not going to exhaust. So these are infinitely available in the natural environment, and with whatever pace we use them or consume them, they are not going to exhaust. Exhaustible resources, these are those natural resources that are finite in nature. Once used, they will become exhausted and we will not be able to find them. And recurring use, regular use at a very fast pace is reducing their quantity at a very fast rate. They are fast depleting. Since these have finite quantity, they will exhaust one day. For example, petrol and diesel. There are reserves of petrol in Saudi Arabia. It is told that if Saudi Arabia continues to extract oil at the same rate, only after 70 years these resources will exhaust. If the whole world consumes petroleum at the same rate at which it is consuming, just after 33 years the resources will exhaust. Likewise, coal. We have coal deposits in India, but we are constantly using them for producing electricity in thermal power plants. So they will exhaust one day and we will not be able to find them again. In our life, generations and generations will pass, then only they will be available again. Next is how environment is crucial for us. How environment is important for us. It is very important for us. The natural environment around us is the reason for our life. It is supporting our life. Without environment, our life is not possible. The natural habitat in which we are living is crucial for life, is very important for life. And growth is only possible because of natural resources. Otherwise, we all will die. So because of the natural resources, we are using them, we are using air, we are using water, and because of that we are growing. Our life is possible. Otherwise we all will be dead. For example, life on our planet depends on oxygen and water, and both are provided by the natural environment. Both are not man-made, both are given to us by the nature. So we depend on oxygen for breathing and water for our daily needs. Further, we breathe the air and produce carbon dioxide. One more thing is provided by the nature, that is forest and plants. So this carbon dioxide production that we do, and we use oxygen for breathing, this is regenerated by forest. It is balanced by the forest and plant kingdom. Plants and forest also remove other types of dirts like carbon from the environment that result from the modern days use of the environment, like the carbon emission from vehicles, from cars, okay, CO carbon emission from AC. All of these are removed to a large extent by the plants. Greenery around us not only gives us fresh air, the plants around us, they not only give us fresh air but also makes our environment stress free, our environment good to live in. Land which are having forest, they are known to avoid floods because the forest strongly take the soil with them. They strongly they give a strong support to the soil, and when the floods come, the soil do not get washed away, so we do not have soil erosion. So if the land is having forest, forest cover protects the soil. So trees are there to protect us during floods, and that is why the soil is not washed away. The sun regulates the temperature of our planet. If sun is not there, there will be winter with so much cold, so we all will die. So the sun regulates the temperature and makes the earth habitable for the human beings to live. On those planets that do not have this luxury of solar energy, life is not possible there. So if you see that when scientists in ISRO and NASA are trying to find life outside the earth, they are focusing on one, water, they are focusing on solar energy, they are focusing on temperature. If the temperature is suitable or not, if water is found on any planet, then it means that that planet was once hospitable, once some living beings were there, or in future we can have life there. So it only depends on the natural things like water, sunlight, a basic temperature, and air for our survival. There is one picture given in the book, and it tells us about how environment contributes to our lives. Tree canopies means the layers of trees, vegetation and grassy areas capture, filter rainwater. They take rainwater. Soil has a natural ability to filter rainwater, and this rainwater goes underground, and this recharges our underground water supply. So reducing the amount of salt, oil and pollutants from the roads. This water now tries to clear those pollutants from the environment. Each tree can absorb up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. It absorbs 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year, each tree. Hiking means going to forests can help fend off your heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, osteoporosis, arthritis. These are connected with the bones, anxiety. It fights obesity by burning on average 100 calories for every mile walked. Sunlight is the best and only natural source of vitamin D. Your body converts what it needs from it and demetabolizes any extra. Only 15 minutes per day of sun's exposure is needed. So you see how important our environment is and how important these things are there: sun, forest, trees. Open space can reduce the cost of drinking water up to 10-fold. If you have any open space like ground with grass, so it will reduce the cost of drinking water by protecting the underground water resources. Do you know once Gaya was a city of talabs, city of ponds, but the ponds are now gradually ending up. But once Gaya was the city of ponds, and because of those ponds there was no any problem of water in Gaya. A year-long study with 2600 school-age students showed that daily exposure to nature resulted in 5% increase in their development or functional memory and 1% decrease in attentiveness. Increase attentiveness means if you are connecting yourself with nature, then there will be an increase in your development. A short walk in nature can reduce remuneration as well as calm activity. A study by the Penn State University shows a strong correlation between stress, low blood pressure and other things if you spend some time in park. A study showed that people who wandered among trees performed 20% better on a number memorization test. If you remember, Newton also gave his concept when he was in a park, and that tree and that apple, all of these things are connected with nature. So these are the things we have discussed our chapter. Now you all can unmute yourself.